Hey Jolies, welcome back to my channel, and if you are new, my name is Maya and I'm here to make your braiding life easier. As you can see, we are using colors pink and 30. What we are going to be doing here is we are going to split this section into 3, right? And then you are going to rotate the right hand to the further left and then trade. Then rotate your left hand over to your right and then do the same. And then this is where we are going to go ahead and add our first piece of hair. When adding your first piece of hair and any other pieces, you want to make sure that you have a tight grip, not only on the root, but also on the braiding hair, so that your hair can be, or your braid can be seamless and not as bulky. And another thing that can help your braid not being bulky is adding a small piece of hair, as you see me doing right now. So we're basically going to we're basically going to repeat the process explained earlier and add in hair until you're comfortable with the size that you like or the size that your client is requesting. Now for me, I love to start off with just a small piece of hair. And honestly, I used to count the amount of times that I would feed in a piece of braiding hair, but honestly, it really doesn't matter how much you feed in, as long as you get to the comfortable size that you or your client is going for. That's all that matters. So what we're doing here is we're just braiding down, and you guys, I don't really have the tucking down pack just yet, just being completely honest and vulnerable. I don't have it down packed just yet, but that is something that I am working on, so I tuck to the best of my ability. If it's something that you guys can't do, it could be tucking, it could be braiding, whatever. Don't be hard on yourself. Just do it. Just learn. Practice makes perfect, and eventually you'll go ahead and get it right. So I am getting prepared for the next braid. And as you can see, I'm just putting, her little kitchen, quote unquote, to the side because I don't like to braid that. So I just leave it alone. So as explained before, you're going to rotate your left hand again over to your right, or your right to your left. However, you start off your braid, and just rotate it and then add your piece of hair. I just added 2 just then, and then formed a braid. And now I'm about to add another one. And then, just repeat the process until I add the comfortable amount for my sister. That's my sister, you guys. So this row is going to have 4 braids. I pre-sectioned off of camera, and I pre-sectioned off of camera, and quite frankly, you guys, I don't pre-section like most may do. Now, in my opinion, the amount of time that I would be taking to pre-section, I could be using that time to braid, and that's just me. I've pre-sectioned many of times before, and honestly, for myself, it took me about an hour and a half. And that's an hour and a half that I could have been using to braid, and I would have got 3 to 4, 5 rows down, depending on the size or the length that I'm doing. So that's just me. I usually do 2 clients a day, sometimes 3. And, I have a daughter as well that is in daycare that I have to go pick up and stuff like that. So I make sure that, I time myself, and that I'm not taking up too much time. And if it's something that I feel will take too much time, I just don't do it. Okay, so the first row is done, and I am about to braid this in another way. Now, I don't know what made me braid this in this way, but this is also another way that you can start your braid and feed your braids in. Now, sometimes I'll start it this way and other times I won't. And I'll do it the way that I was doing it previously. And honestly, they're both great methods, but I feel like the way that I started the first row, I have more control over the root. I just feel like the way I just started it, with this braid, I can lose control of the braid or of the root, and that's just me personally. So I would like to stick to the way I was doing before. And I did not explain this previously, but you want to make sure that the root of the braid that you are working on is completely combed out and is not bulky, so you can get it as flat as possible so that it can look as seamless as possible. Now, I always start my braid in the middle. Always, always, always. Why? Because it helps me to perform a brick or window parting better. I don't like, as I explained before in my previous braiding video, I don't like having or seeing the braids one on top of each other. It makes it look funny. Not only that, but the brick or window or bowling method, in my opinion, makes it look fuller. So that is one thing that I always focus on, and that's why the middle is where I always start. I didn't show this part in the beginning, but when you trim your braid, it makes it look so much neater. So to me, it is necessary. Now, when you get to the edge of your client's hair, I believe that it is better to start with a smaller piece than the rest of the hair. Why? Because it is the edge. It is, the most sensitive part of anyone's hair, and it's easy to break off. So I always start with it small, and if it's if it's finer than normal, or I'm not even gonna say than normal, if it's finer than others or whatnot, I will take one piece and split it in half and basically feed it on both sides of my client's part, or her square. And that is something that I can show to you guys either on a mannequin or on a client. So I am going to part my sister's hair into 5 sections in the front for this medium. So my sister had requested curls, but she did not want tight curls. So what I'm going to do here is take my curling rod or my flexi rod, however you call it, and I'm going to go ahead and line them up, of course, as you see me doing here. And then while I'm wrapping, I'm twisting. While I'm doing that, I go ahead and hook it on so it won't fall off and just continue. So I'm skipping I'm skipping some rows, or however you want to call it, so that they won't be one on top of each other, and then I'm closing it so it won't fall off. After adding the rods, what I'm doing here, I am bending the hair to put it into the pitcher that is filled with water. The reason why I'm bending the hair to do that is to get as much hair in there as possible. And now I am using Fantasia Spritz and Magic Finger Mousse to basically give it a finished look. I am spritzing the hair here as you see me doing, and then I'm gonna go ahead and put the mousse on her hair and just apply it throughout her braids. And then I'm going to go ahead and put her under the dryer to let her hair dry for that beautiful finished look. Now, I don't know why, but y'all, I always get excited to see the curls, because the curls are for the girls, you hear? I always get excited. So seeing this part, I was just like, oh my God, this is going to be so pretty. So, you know, just unraveling, taking it off, and look at that. Just look at that. Them curls popping. My sister was getting excited right there. Those curls are popping. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that for the rest of them. And I'm taking the scissors to snip some of them because some of them had pieces that are a little too long. So I went ahead and I just cut them off. And the final step, I'm taking the same mousse and I am spraying it on my curls and blow drying them until they're dry. This is optional, very, very optional. And here's the final look. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful?